Welcome in. It is Thursday. Here we go. Answering your start sit questions. Hope for the best. Hopefully, nothing burns down. I think we'll be okay. I'm pumped for it. I hope you guys are too. So, that in mind, really hoping that this will work out. This is granted a new setup, so hope everybody's enjoying this transition. We're trying to get everything on spot, but it'll be very curious to see how everything works out. Um, so, I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. So, with that in mind, you have your questions. Now is your time to get them answered. Just type away, let me know. We can work through it. I'm excited for it. Good game tonight. I'm excited to kind of see what's real and what's not between Washington and Green Bay. This could be a huge mistake, but a lot of good players. I don't think you go wrong. More than likely, we are looking at your main starters. You're going probably start McLaurin. It's hard to get away from Debo after seeing what he did in week one. From there, though, it's really curious to see how everything's going to go. So, you guys have your questions. Please go ahead, ask away, and I will get them answered as the show goes on. Hopefully, they'll pop up and everything, all that good stuff. But we're working on it. Let's see. So for tonight, Jaden Daniels, of course, you have him. You're starting him. It's hard to get away from him. McLaurin again, Debo. Then we go to the other side, Green Bay. You're really only starting Love. And I mean, you're hoping that Jones comes up with a big play or Jordan Mason, Josh Jacobs. Keep doing that between them and the Vikings. That change just really messed me up. Oh, perfect. AW, Waddle Odunze, Coleman Reed. Of them, I'm going to go Odunze. Think he has big play potential there. Makes it pretty easy to get to. Coleman's going to have a tougher coverage this week. I think he'll be just fine, though, for you. However, with all of that, it kind of makes me more hesitant. Reed is going to be too inconsistent. I can't bring myself to start him. And then Waddle, we saw it dealing with injury already. The team is iffy. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'd much rather just roll with Odunze and hope for the best. He seemed to get the majority of targets. And so, all right, Peter. Sup, McLaurin? Sutton, Etienne. It's really hard to get away from Sutton, especially in PPR. I like Etienne, but it's just the upside for Sutton is incredible. You can't get away from him. The amount of volume that's there for him. He's the clear number one, has a good connection with Nix, and even though Nix was struggling, he was somebody he was looking for pretty often, so I'm sticking with it. All right, Tony. Welcome in. Thank you so much. I am pumped for it. Full PPR flex, McMillan or Hunter. I'm guessing that's Tet. So, we're talking about volume. It's going to be Tet, and it's not particularly close. They did say that Hunter is going to play more on defense, but who actually knows what that means? I don't think it will affect a whole lot of anything. So I'm fine continuing to roll with Tet here until either Hunter goes just to offense or that split becomes a little more manageable. I have him still as a flex option for you, so if you're looking for him, could be worse. So, but yeah. Speaking of players who you're starting, Josh Jacobs, I have him as my RB4 this week. Not a whole lot of people in front of him. Should be just fine. This is a tougher matchup, so he really, I'm guessing, is going to get some work in the passing game that will help boost him up quite a bit. I also suspect this game to potentially go back and forth. We'll see if anybody scores or how often. I do expect it to be a grind, but I do expect a lot of yardage to be put up. This is a good game for kickers, so if you're looking and want to stream a kicker, this is probably your best time for it. Let's see, that would be Matt Gay for the Commanders. Again, I have him as my number 5 kicker, and then Brandon McManus for Green Bay, and I have him at 11. So really don't think you go wrong if that's what you're looking for. As for defenses, of the two, I'm more likely to go with the Commanders. I just think they're more well-rounded. I think they're able to kind of possess the ball. This is another probably good game for defenses, but different team, just one. Sutton, Travion, Tet. Again, it's still going to be Sutton. It's one of those deals that it's just frustrating, so you have to roll with it. I know Knicks didn't look great. I don't love the matchup this week either, but I'm expecting there to be some turnaround. Henderson, really like what I saw out of him. It's just difficult to roll with it. Not a big fan, so trying to stick with the things I know. Henderson in the split makes me nervous. But he did show flashes. This is a good game to roll him out because I do expect the Patriots kind of handle him after what we saw from Miami in the first week. And then Tet, of course, is seeing a good amount of volume, but it's more trusting Young that still was iffy on what looked like a struggling offense. So much rather just roll out Sutton still. Shane, missed you. Glad we're back. Ertz tonight, Strange, or hold out for Goddard. I would probably go Strange. I like Ertz enough, but I just don't think that's where they're going. We clearly saw that Debo was the one to go to in the short area, and I think that just kind of continues. And so rolling him out, gotta continue the strangeness in a good matchup. So Sparkly. All right, let's see. Pick 2, PPR, Genty, Hubbard, Tracy, or JCM. Because it's PPR, you're going to go Genty and Hubbard. Tracy, we didn't see a whole lot. You guys didn't watch. We were here last night. We went over all of the Tracy issues that we believed in. We kind of touched on JCM as well. He's not used in the passing game, so we're not really looking for it. He will potentially have the ability to score a touchdown tonight. But when it was looking at PPR, we want the pass-catching backs, and that's Hubbard and Genty. Talk about things that weren't great. Panthers weren't great, but Hubbard saw a good amount of work. And then same thing with the Raiders. Genty looked like he had the full job, which he should. He's their number 1 pick for a reason. So it should be rolling out just fine for him. All right. Any questions look like they're good for now. Well, you guys try and give me more to talk about. I'm going to, let's see, we talked about the defenses for tonight. We talked about, again, your quarterbacks. I don't love, shouldn't be surprised. I currently have him just outside of the top 12. I have him at 15. Daniel says at 7. I do the issue with Love and supporting any options. You will see that I do not have any of the wide receivers as a fantasy option because Love doesn't care. He just wants to move the ball and score. And so if you're going to roll out any of them, it's probably going to be Reed, and that makes me super nervous. You're looking at somebody who is very iffy, doesn't play a whole lot of snaps, and you're really hoping he gets a touchdown. No matter what the game is, whether he's catching it or running it, he has a chance to score, but his snap share is just so minimal, it's very difficult, as well as the fact that he had last week, he came and played, even though he's dealing with injury. It just never-ending issues for that guy. All right, Tony. Yeah, that one kind of hurts. And you haven't yet. We still don't know what Pacheco is. I think it's just the first couple weeks, it's difficult. It's a very difficult matchup for Pacheco. So I'm fine rolling out Charbonnet, especially if there's any kind of PPR. If it's not PPR, I'd probably still go Pacheco. But it's going to be tough sledding for sure. It's going to be another week that you're kind of struggling. Yeah. So PPR, you're going Charbonnet for sure. So definitely not ideal. All right. Back to my diatribe pretty much about the Packers wide receivers. The issue remains that, again, you won't see Love targeting just one of them. It's going to be whoever's open, whoever is going to get the first down. I mean, so outside of Reed, the only other option outside of, well, I guess Reed and Jacobs is clearly starting for you no matter what. You picked him early. Good on you. He's the bell cow for the team. But you're looking at Golden and Dobbs and all of this. Golden has super talent, but it doesn't matter to Love. What matters to Love is moving the ball and winning ball games. So with that in mind, it's just difficult. The other player you're looking at is Tucker Kraft. Kraft is the other one that you're probably going to be starting. I have him as my tight end 6 this week because, again, they're going to have to move the ball. I think it's the safest area for them to attack. So, all right, follow-up question, AW. Trevion Henderson, Chubb, Worthy, or JCM? Because we're not sure on Worthy, if you can wait and see, I don't think he's going to be super useful, so I'd much rather roll out Trevion. The mixture that, I mean, Houston just, that offense looks completely broken, so I'm staying away from that completely. And again, because it's PPR, Henderson's more of the guy you're looking at anyway. I like Bill well enough. This isn't an ideal matchup, and he doesn't catch passes. That's Eckler's role. Eckler still led the backfield with the snaps played and the pass catching and when he was playing. So because of that, I can't bring myself to do it. I'd rather just roll out Trevion. But while more questions roll in, liked how Daniels looked. He was solid again. I mean, I'm assuming it's just getting used to playing. Don't overreact in week 1, guys. This is the whole point of the fantasy football season, is not to overreact. We aren't doing trades unless it's just something that's too good to pass up. You can't bring yourself to do it. I'm not doing it. We talked about it on the show. We won't be likely talking about trades until week 5 when we have a more solid picture of what's going on, what the snap percentage is, how people are looking. So much easier just kind of wait and see. All right, Shane. A lot of choices for needing just one to flex. Pollard, Brown, QJ, Etienne, Ridley, Jameson. It's a PPR. Okay, we'll go through this with people I'm not playing. I'm not playing Pollard because while he has the full workload, don't love the matchup. I'm not playing Jameson Williams because, again, it's PPR. While I do think the Lions bounce back, not this week for him. Ridley, another tough matchup for him. I don't love the fact that Ward is throwing just straight up missiles at people. He needs to work on his finesse and his touch a little bit to make sure that Ridley has a chance at the balls that are being thrown his way. So that really brings us down to Brown, QJ, and Etienne. Because it's PPR, you kind of want to lean towards the wide receivers. However, because we're not sure of where he's playing, I don't love the matchup for Hollywood. And honestly, I have Etienne the highest of them. I do like QJ. He is going to be the guy who's seeing probably 5 to 7 targets every week, but he's also the red zone target for the Chargers. Some bias there, but the fact that he's catching balls is a big thing. However, with the fact that it's PPR, I think the safest play this week is Etienne. Now that he has a full job, you might see some tooting, but with them shipping out Bigsby, I'm very curious to see how Etienne does. They kind of have committed to him, so I'm sticking with it. All right, Tony. Full point PPR. Swift, Charbonnet, or Booty. Like them all. Swift has a full job, which I like. However, because it's PPR, I'm not rolling him out this week. I like Charbonnet as well. I want to see them do that again, but because of that, I'm going to go Booty. It's a great matchup. The opportunity's there for him. I'm a big fan of this. We talked about it last night, but the fact that Diggs on fewer snaps have the same amount of targets makes me a little nervous. It makes me more curious to see what happens when he's back fully healthy and how that's going to work out. But until that happens, I still think you want to roll out Booty here. All right, did a trade already? Yeah, that's brutal. I mean, hopefully it works out. It seems like Bowers should be back, but in what capacity, we'll see. And if that works out, great. it's just one of those things that you kind of have to wait and see, and I'd rather wait and see because we don't know how that ends up for you. Also depends on the depth, what I mean, lead type, what your team looks like. I'm sure it helped, and you were probably decent at that point. Hampton probably was your RB3-4, um, and the fact that he just happened to get a good start or a rough start potentially will hurt his value, but we'll see. All right, BZ. What's up? Eckler, Pittman, Tracy. Looking at them, I really want to go Pittman because of what we saw last week. However, he has a tough matchup this week. I mean, the fact that he, uh, sorry, the fact that he is likely going to see the Surtain coverage makes me super nervous. I so I would normally say probably Pittman, but it's if you want to play it safe, it's Eckler. The fact that this is a flex, you really hate using your flex on a Thursday night. It's one of the rules we don't like. We need that flexibility. I'd much rather play your running back in the running back position or your wide receiver in the wide receiver position, so you're flexible when it comes to Sunday. But these are your options. I mean, it's probably Eckler, but man, it's tough to get away from Pittman. All right, Shane. Last one for the night. We'll see. RB2, PPR, Montgomery, Ken Walker, Charbonnet. That's tough. I really want to go Montgomery again because it's a 50-50 split. Lions, I think, are going to want to prove a point. I know Gibbs got the high quality touches. He was in the on 2-minute drill. He was used in the passing game more. However, this is a statement game, I think, for the Lions. But if you believe in it, Charbonnet would be the next one up. I've liked him since he got there. I just hated that he was sharing with Walker. It's a mess, and so it's very tempting to get away from it. And so, yeah, I want to see it again. I want to see it a couple more times to make sure that Charbonnet is the lead back in that system because it would make a lot more sense. But while they're splitting, I think Montgomery is on the better offense, so I'd much rather roll that way. All right, Tony. Had to because my star was Loveland Hampton. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I get why, but I still think there were probably better options than waiver wire for you. So, all right, you guys have questions, please let me know. I will continue to roll through all the nonsense. For example, we found out that Purdy is likely going to be out 2 to 5 weeks. Don't like that. Mac Jones will be okay. It really downgrades all of his pass catching options. So while I do like Persall again this week, he should be okay because of the big play. The only players that are really getting a lift is going to be CMC and Robinson, and it's not enough. I mean, CMC you were already going to play no matter what, and Brian he's at this point, he probably has moved into a flex option depending on who else you have, but it's very difficult to get away from it. So much rather roll with one of them and hope for the best. As well as Kittle being out, no, I'm not going to play. Keep on saying tongues, but that's not the correct pronunciation. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. Oh, all right, Vinny. Don't play Bill since I have Fields going. Thinking Cowboys. Yes, I agree. It is kind of difficult unless you are expecting. I mean, it could happen. Fields to run in the touchdowns by himself, which while it does hurt defense, he could still turn the ball over and they could get a pick six or anything else. And then also, Judy, Waddle, or JMO. It's going to be Judy and JMO. We talked about it yesterday. We are not touching any kind of Dolphins wide receiver. It's not worth it. They need to fix themselves before we're willing to roll that out. So, that in mind, we're definitely trying to stay away from any of those options. Much rather just roll with, even a couple players from the potential waiver wire. So, all right. So we talked about Purdy. Bauer's dealing with injury. We're not sure on London either. Worthy looks like he is potentially going to play. Don't know how that works out with a dislocated shoulder, but we'll see. The other thing that kind of went unnoticed while not Washington, while Mooney is back at practice, Casey Washington is in the concussion protocol. So that's another thing to take in mind. All right, Vinny, I'd play Brown over JMO. I mean, we talked about this yesterday. So, but yeah. So Casey Washington, the guy who actually came in to replace Mooney, has in concussion protocol currently. If he gets out, I mean, we'll see how that works out. But you're likely this is going to be an iffy game to be looking at anyway. I'm trying to think of any other big news. I mean, if you're looking at games this week, the one I think I was most surprised at are Dolphins were still 1.5 point favorites to the Patriots. I'm not quite sure why. So if you're looking for a betting option, that's one I'd be looking at. It's very interesting to me that they're ahead. And then for players that you're likely starting, you want to start your Bengals. Bengals should be back. You should be good to start up all your Bengals. You should have all of them in your lineup and set. Don't have to worry about it. This should be a good matchup for them. On the same note, you're probably looking at the Jaguars players as well. Need to roll them out. Probably why BTJ is so high is because Bengals really can't do a whole lot on defense except for rush the passer. So that's, again, why I have ETN so high. The other news is the Browns. Quinshon Judkins had full practice today. So awesome for him. However, I'm still highly doubting that he plays this weekend. If he does, it will be a very limited capacity, less than 10 snaps kind of a thing. So Dylan Sampson is still up and running. He is still going to be likely the third down back. He clearly showed that he has more spurt and ability than Jerome Ford at this point, which I wasn't ready for. I thought that was going to take some time. And so it will be very interesting to see how that ends up working out. And I'm guessing that if you have Ford, I'm actually probably okay dropping him because that offense, that team isn't good enough for you to hold a running back that is in a split load like that. And with how Sampson's playing, it's hard to believe in it. We talked about Brock. Cowboys look pretty good. I think that's part of the reason I like them. So for Vinny, he talked about playing the Cowboys. Yeah, it's the Giants. I did not like how they looked. Wan'Dale Robinson did not practice Wednesday because of his ankle. Malik Neighbors is dealing with a back. However, that was a limited practice, and he had a more strenuous practice today. And I think he's clearly going to play. It's more Robinson already being hurt, and the fact that Russell Wilson is still the quarterback. Until that change happens, you're probably playing anybody against the Giants. And speaking of things that we don't like, Tyrone Tracy, talk about rough. If your offense isn't moving and you're not catching the balls out of the backfield, it's going to be a struggle. So we're kind of staying away from the running backs there until Scadaboo takes over. It's just too difficult. So much rather just work with what you got. And then let's see. Yeah, I think we touched on everything. So if you guys don't have anything else. All right, looks like I answered everybody. Game's about to kick off. Answered all the questions. Hope you all have a good Thursday night. Let's get this week started. I will be, tomorrow, you can kind of see right here. We have our lineup. Monday, we have the wire where we go over the waiver wire. Wednesday, we have the fun show with me and Neil. Then, of course, you're here at the Thursday night football countdown. Tomorrow is locked in. So that's your betting show. If you are into betting, that's your option. And then, of course, I will be back Sunday. I will be here at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central, answering your questions, doing all that fun stuff. So We will be getting your lineup set on Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 Central here. And then, of course, as I'll gotta make sure you join the Discord. It's a lot easier way for us to connect. Whether you're from Fantasy Life or anything else, that's going to be your best way to get questions answered. Um, Especially if you're eventually looking at trade questions, that's the best place to go because while I don't like doing trades, I will talk about them briefly in there. We have a full team that will actually break down trades. So they'll need to ask up follow-up questions that are extremely vital to giving you a good answer. But that in mind, let's go enjoy this game. It's a Thursday. It's a second game of the year. Well, second Thursday game of the year. Hopefully it's another good one. I was pleasantly surprised with the first one. So until the rains start, hopefully that'll happen. Shouldn't happen tonight. But let's go and watch it. And remember, as always, we'll see you tomorrow for Locked In, Sunday for the final countdown with me. And yeah, so remember, as always, to keep up the nonsense.